Good afternoon, folks. Well, listen, 2:49 p.m., September 29th, 2025. So this is part two. This is the other thing I was concerned about. So on Saturday, I heard this really loud noise. And I thought it was from outside, but it wasn't. It was in here in the mechanical room. It's the soft water softener tank. And it was making a really loud noise. And it was draining water down into this drain. At first, it was just draining a little bit of water, but then it was like really coming down, and it was like a gallon per second. I mean, it was just. Luckily, the drain works really good. Otherwise, it would have flooded this whole area and into the hallway, but it didn't. So for an hour and a half straight, it was just draining water. What in the world is going on? So tried to contact the landlord and everything. Saturday, it's hard to get a hold of anybody. But they're gonna, they're, I guess, trying to get somebody out here today. I don't know if they're trying to get a hold of somebody today. I don't know if they'll be here today, but they're gonna try to get somebody out soon. So that thing was going on, and then it wasn't making as loud noise, but it was still at I couldn't even hear it from my apartment unless I had like everything off and you could barely hear it. But when it made the loud noise, that's what made me start looking into this. So then that finally stopped. I'm like, okay, maybe it was, I looked it up, maybe it's just regenerating. It's supposed to cycle through this every so often. But it's supposed to be like doing it like once a week or something like that. But I don't think it was right because it was the first time I've heard it, at least that loud, in 5 weeks. And so after that stopped, then 15 minutes later, the hot water heater started making loud noises. And it was really super loud, and this motor was running, and this motor was super hot. The pipes were hot, and the temperature gauge was showing 110, which is about what it is now. So this thing was making a loud noise at first, but then it went down to a dull roar, I guess. And I was looking stuff up, what's going on with this. Called the non-emergency fire department, and he says, oh, that could be normal. Maybe it's trying to heat the pipes, put water back in the pipes. He asked if I was using water, taking a shower. No, I wasn't doing nothing. And then it randomly kept doing it every so often throughout the day, and then yesterday and early this morning. He told me to call back if it happened again, which I did, but he says, you don't have to worry unless it gets up to 125 degrees. Well, I don't want it to get that far. So the AI was suggesting resetting it, shutting off the breaker. I can't get to the breaker. It's in another room and it's locked. And I don't want to mess with anything and mess anything up, so I didn't do nothing. I just told the landlord about it. But late last night, I was getting ready to go to bed, and I heard it coming on again, making the noise, and I didn't use any water at all for a long time. But then I saw that it has some warning indicator lights. So the arrow has no light, and then A and B was lit up. So if you look it up over here, the corresponding one says, maximum amount of ignition attempts has been reached and the system is in lockout. So what I'm getting from it is since no one's been here for a while and no one's been using the hot water heaters, maybe sediment built up and is causing it to malfunction. So it's trying to ignite, I guess, I think this is electric. I'm pretty sure it's electric. But it's trying to ignite it to heat up the water into the pipes, and it can't do it. So after a while, it tries a few times, and if it doesn't work, then it shuts itself down because it builds up gas. And if it builds up too much gas, it can actually explode. So we don't want that happening. But the thing is it says the factory setting is 70 degrees, and it's every time I've come in here, I've never seen it below 110. So I don't know about that, if that's normal or not. But he said, the fire department guy and the AI said, if you smell anything burning, if you see any leaks, if you see steam coming out of it, that's a big warning sign to call the gas company or the fire department immediately, because that's really bad. But none of that's happened. So the fireman even said, you're probably okay. Just get it looked at as soon as possible. I have not heard it come on today yet, since it was like 2 in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, something like that. But, I don't really hear it in my apartment unless my apartment is really quiet. Because the noise it makes isn't super loud. And with my apartment down the hall, I don't hear it. So just say a prayer for this, that this can be solved quickly, because also it says that after a certain amount of time, the hot water is going to be gone. So I won't have no hot water. It says it can store up a few days worth, I guess. And, I took a shower on Saturday and it was fine. Another thing that's really weird is when I turn the water on in the apartment, kitchen, sink, if I put it all the way on the coldest level, it gets warm and sometimes even hot. It's like there's like no cold water. It's cold for maybe a couple seconds and then it gets warm right away. So there could be a thing with the hot water leaking or going through the cold water pipes. The cold water is being overrun by hot water. All right, just say a prayer for that, and hopefully everything will be figured out soon. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. God bless.